Hello, welcome to In the Net podcast. New podcast we just started. My name's Max. This is Lam, Ibby, and Hugh. We're going to be talking on a weekly basis about all things to do with football, really. Obviously, got the Euros coming up, and there's also been the semi-bombshell today that Spurs has once again that Harry Kane, has once again told Spurs that he wants to leave in the summer. So I don't know what you guys think of that, really.
Anyone?
It was always going to happen.
Who's jumping on?
Go ahead, Ibby.
Nah, it's always going to happen, innit? I mean, player like Kane, he wants to win things, right? So, come on, let's be real. Is he going to win anything at Spurs?
No, he's already given them their chance, hasn't he? I mean, probably wanted to go last summer, but they persuaded him to stay for Jose.
I think the thing is that if you think about the recent times in Spurs, like losing the League Cup final to City, and then obviously a few years ago when they got to the Champions League final and then losing to Liverpool, obviously they've had chances to win silverware, and like even with Jose coming in, even with signings coming in, it doesn't seem to be working. And I think if Kane wants to be considered great in the Premier League, he has to go elsewhere to win titles, because even though Tottenham have got a brilliant project with a new stadium and everything that's going with it, I don't think that at this present time they are going to be in a position to challenge for anything.
Yeah,
harsh, but
it's time to go. It's time to go. He's not going to do anything there. He's just good. If he stays, he'll just be an almost player. It's time for him to go, fulfill the potential, and yeah.
He is. He's too good a striker to not win anything, isn't he? He can't go down.
How old is he now? How old is Kane right now?
Isn't he 27? He's 27, 28, isn't he? So, I mean, he's probably got, another 5 seasons to get to his peak?
Prime.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're going to be in your prime, you want to be in a team where you are going to be consistently challenging for titles, consistently being in the Champions League, and even at international level, you want to be winning some sort of accolades. And if you look at the way that Spurs have gone, especially getting to that Champions League final, and you would expect them to go on a trajectory, but it doesn't seem to be the case, especially under Jose. And I think the League Cup final just summed it up. It really is like they are literally the almost team, or they're nearly there, but not quite getting to actually winning any silverware. But one thing that I wanted to throw out to all of you, but do you not think this is a bit of a ploy, especially with the agents working behind the scenes? Because he could actually just be doing this and basically going up to the media and saying that I want to leave, and all he really wants is a new contract and just get a little bit of extra money. Because if you think
man, not with Spurs. I mean, I can see a player doing that at United. I can see someone doing that at United or City or Liverpool, but a player like Kane, he needs trophies. Like at the end of when he retires, he's going to be sitting there saying, I made a final, I made a quarter final, I played for England, but what does he have to show for it? Especially if he's considered one of would you say he's the top 3 strikers in the world, top 5 strikers in the world?
Yeah, definitely top 3. Yeah.
Who is your top 3?
It's probably him, Haaland, and Lewandowski, isn't it?
I would agree, actually. Right now, you'd have to say them 3, like proper number 9s. Obviously, if you talk about forwards, then you'd have to bring Mbappe into the picture and all of that. But
I mean,
but like proper number 9, you have to say Kane's up there, and especially the last season or two, where he drops deep, and he's always like a playmaker. It's almost like peak Rooney, what Rooney was doing, like dropping in, playing that number 10 role, and then obviously scoring goals as well. So I don't think it's a ploy. I think he needs a move for his legacy, really. But if he does go, where does he go?
Plus, if it was a ploy, I don't think he'll get much more with Levy conducting everything. How much more would they give him to keep him there?
He's already limited, isn't he?
Yeah, surely. And I think he does just want to win something. Doesn't seem the type of player that would do it for money.
Right, Lam, so Ib just asked a question. Where's he going?
Oh, yeah. What was the question?
Where is Harry Kane going to go?
Where's he going to go? I reckon he'll go to United. Yeah, I just think he'll go to United. I think them look for a striker. maybe they're kind of on a come up. Got a little project going on. Got world-class players. Link up with Bruno, Pogba. They get him and a couple more, a centre-back and another midfielder. I reckon he'll go there.
I mean, personally, for me, I think if he wants to stay in England, it's between 3 clubs. If he wants to stay in England and it is solely to win trophies, there's only 3 clubs for me. It's Chelsea, Man City and Liverpool. I know Liverpool don't look like they're going to get in the Champions League this year, but you definitely fancy them to challenge for the title next year.
You're always going to throw that one in, right? Given that I'm a Liverpool fan, yeah.
But no, I throw that in because that's the easy response to saying you could go to Liverpool, but because they got no Champions League football. But I don't know. I just think I think he'd love to play under Klopp, and I think he knows that there's a good chance of winning trophies there.
I think going to the Liverpool point, so obviously the season hasn't been the best season, and I can make up any excuse I want, but the football Twitter and the rest of the internet are probably going to suggest otherwise and just laugh it off. But looking at that front three, they haven't been the best informed, and I can kind of see why you would say that. But I just can't see how he would fit into the system. And I know Klopp has adapted his systems before at Dortmund to basically get Lewandowski in the team. But with the way that he's playing with Liverpool, with the front three, with Firmino being that false 9, and then Mane and Salah, and also we have Jota in place, I can't see him going into that squad. And yes, he's world quality, he's world class, and he would get into most top teams. But in terms of the system that Klopp enforces, I can't see it happening. With City, I can actually see it as a likely possibility. Now, there's always that.
The way Aguero is just being phased out, it's almost like destiny. Like one world-class striker coming to the end of his, time at City, and the door opens for another one.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, with City, I'm sort of trying to convince myself that he's not going to go there because I don't want him to go there. Because
it would be
just another world-class player that goes to Man City.
It would be like Bayern.
Yeah,
just scooping up all the top class players and making a mega team.
But isn't that where they are at now? Because if you think about it, like City, every other season has been phenomenal, and this season I think they've just swept everyone apart. They had a shaky start at the beginning of the season, but the second half of the season, I don't think there's been any team that compares to them. And even we know Aguero's going out. If you think about who they have probably Gabriel Jesus as the next striker. But throughout the season, they've played Sterling as a false 9. They've been playing Gundogan as false.
Everyone.
Yeah, Silva. They don't have a replacement for Aguero just yet, and it may be the case where Harry Kane is that one player that they're looking for. I know they keep on talking about Haaland or Harry Kane or whatever, but I think if he comes onto the market, it'd be stupid otherwise. And to play under Pep Guardiola, I think most players would love to thrive under and learn from one of the best coaches in the world.
Well, who do you think is City's first choice? Do you think it's Kane or
just about to say, yeah. Good question.
Probably Haaland from a business point of view, definitely.
Better investment.
Yeah, gets more years out of him, and you're probably looking at the same sort of money for both of them.
You say that, but
you reckon?
Sorry.
You reckon it'll be the same money for both?
Yeah, I think so. Because Kane's English, and there's always the premium of being an English.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is because the English clubs don't have to sell because the amount of money they get through the Premier League revenue, whereas Dortmund have probably got a lower tipping point when it comes to having to sell because the money's too good to refuse.
But you think about from a marketability perspective, though, look at the shirt sales that Kane could actually bring. I don't think Haaland, no disrespect to Norway or even his reputation at the stage at the moment, it's still a growing reputation. He's still getting a foothold in his game. But in terms of if you are wanting to buy a big money signing and you know that you want to get shirt sales and that shirt sales could somewhat recuperate some of the transfer fee that you'll be paying, I think Harry Kane is probably the better option.
Serious? I disagree, man. I think with like the social media era, I think like certain players they bring hype, and I think Mbappe, Haaland, players like that, especially the younger generation. Not to say I'm not trying to sound like a 50-year-old myself, but you got the 16, 17-year-olds. They're wearing like Haaland, Mbappe, Neymar. These players, they've got this social media presence, right? So, and I don't know, does Kane fit into that hype generation? I don't think he does.
Yeah,
but out of the four of us, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say I do get your point, Hugh, but with him being English and going to an English club, I don't think they're going to gain that many shirt sales. Whereas if it was like a Brazilian coming over from Italy, but it was like a top Brazilian striker, then I think that would definitely come into it over Haaland. But I can't see many random English people buying.
I'm not sure.
All around the world either.
I'm not sure if I agree with that.
Yeah, what you said's right. The whole Wonder Kid thing, Wonder Kid, Haaland, Mbappe, youngsters coming through. That's where all the hype is. That's where, because they'll land. How old is he? How old's Haaland? 20 odd?
21.
I think he's in the
20,
20s.
21. Easily minimum a decade, maybe even 15 years out of him. And to come in for hundreds of million, 150 million? What would you pay for him? To come in for that money with all the buzz, all the hype. Yeah, I think he'd be.
Yeah. And it's like you see on when they're playing after they score a goal, Sancho and Haaland doing their celebrations. You know, like I said, youngsters looking at that, they want to copy the celebrations. They want to be that. Especially like these little things make a difference. I remember when we were growing up, Henry and Adebayor, they used to do this dance when they used to score, right? So like me and my cousins when we would play and then we score, we do. Yeah.
What was it?
It's the same
they
thing.
Crouch down like that.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
So.
It's still the same thing now. The younger generation, they're growing up, and I think they're seeing Sancho, they're seeing Haaland. They want to be like that.
Yeah.
But out of us four, what are you guys saying? So if you're the owner of City, and you can pick Kane or Haaland, which way are we voting?
I personally, I would say, because I think he would guarantee to get all the goals would be Kane, because he's proven in the Premier League. And although I think Haaland is probably just as good, if not going to be better, I just think Kane ticks a box for an English player in the squad registration as well. And yeah, I just think Kane, you guarantees 30 goals. He's not missed a beat in the Premier League, has he?
Even at Spurs.
Yeah. Who would you have, man?
From a business point of view, I'd go and invest in Haaland because I'm going to get 10, 15 years out of him and recoup some major money. But like you said, unproven. Gotta go for Kane. He feels like the missing piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Like you said, Aguero going. They need someone proven coming in. Only thing is, if Pep goes in the next couple of years and someone takes over, completely different team, all the superstars start leaving, probably won't ever happen. But I don't know. Pep goes, different project. Would it be the same outcome? I'd go for Kane.
What about you, Hugh?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think if you're thinking about long-term potential, Haaland's obviously the best choice. But I think if you want instant success and proven record in the Premier League of scoring goals week in, week out, then Harry Kane is the obvious option. The only thing that I would say is that there might be that emotional pull towards Haaland, given that his father used to play for City. But I think it may also depend on like how their success as a team goes, because if they win the Champions League, as well as the Premier League, as well as the League Cup that they've already won as well, and basically effectively do a treble, even though it's not really the same because there isn't the FA Cup, they might consider otherwise and think about going and looking to the future, and Haaland may be a better option. But I think with the likes of this transfer market coming up at the end of the season, Chelsea are going to get stronger and stronger, even with their signings from last season. Liverpool will be looking to rebuild. And then United will obviously look to strengthen their squad as well. If they want to make sure that they're still ahead of the game, then Kane is the logical option. I don't know, Ibby, what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, nah, I gotta agree. Simply because he's proven in the Prem, right? So can't really argue with that.
One thing none of us have mentioned though, with Kane, you are guaranteed at least one ankle injury a season, aren't you? That keeps him out usually
but
for 2-3 months. Say that's probably like the average he misses of a season, and he still gets 30 goals a season.
But you could say the same about Aguero.
That squad depth though.
How many goals would he get right with Gundogan, De Bruyne behind him?
So many.
Because right now,
breaking records or close.
Yeah, right now, let's be real. He's making a lot of the goals for himself, right? I know
he's a mad finisher.
Yeah.
But imagine De Bruyne and Gundogan and Mahrez and all of them players just feeding him through. It's game over.
Yeah, he'd have 10 more goals a season just from De Bruyne putting it on a plate for him.
Yeah. What about Pep? You guys think if Pep wins the Champions League, is he staying?
Yeah, he'll stay. He'll see his contract.
You reckon?
Out. Yeah, he always sees his contract out.
But surely he's done it all good.
I thought he'd just be like, I've done it. I'm gonna go and relax and.
No,
I don't know. I don't
take a sabbatical again.
Man, he'd have waited till now to be talking about his contract. He signed a new contract in January, and I don't think he'll go anywhere.
I think until he wins everything.
Then I
do. That is everything. If he wins the Champions League,
this is the final thing, isn't it?
But the thing is, what about the FIFA Club World Cup? I know it's a bit of a dumb argument. Community Shield
space in the trophy cabinet.
Yeah, they've not won the Papa John trophy yet.
All right, calm down. Okay, that was a bit of a flawed argument, but I don't know. Like, I think one of the things that he really wanted at Bayern was to win that Champions League and show that he can do the treble in Germany, and he never managed to achieve that. He definitely did it at Barcelona, and that was, I think, if I remember correctly, his first full-time job in the first team coach. I think with City, with the squad that he has now, with the fact that he's won the League Cup, the Premier League, and he's got to a Champions League final, he's probably thinking if he signs one or two players in summer, coming into next season, he's probably got a chance of getting a treble or quadruple. And I think that's probably what he's looking out for and what he wants to achieve. Yeah,
because as well, when De Bruyne signed his contract extension a month or so ago, he even said then that was a big part of him signing a new deal. The fact that Pep had committed his future to the club as well. So I can't see Pep doing De Bruyne dirty like that and just baiting.
Can I bring it back to a previous topic? So going back from Pep Guardiola back to speaking about Harry Kane, I know that in the media there's reports of him wanting to leave and him wanting to stay in England. But has anyone not ever thought about him speaking to Poch and potentially going to Paris Saint-Germain, given that Mbappe might be leaving as well? Like, I know it's an unlikely possibility after everything that the media are reporting, but it's still an option there, and I think it's worth discussing it if it's still on the table.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but I'm not necessarily sure Poch will be there next season anyway.
Not reckon.
No, because
you reckon he'll leave or?
Well, I don't think they're going to win the league, and obviously they bombed out of the Champions League. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know whether he's going to stick it out there.
Hasn't he even had a full season though? I think they all actually give him the entire next season to see if he can actually win, like Ligue 1 or even more so the Champions League.
Yeah, probably
I think
right.
Like giving him half a season is a bit. Getting rid of him is a bit harsh.
But yeah, if Poch is there and he's willing to go abroad, then yeah, they can afford him.
Serious, I look for PSG. The only reason I can see someone playing for PSG is money.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You're not going to be going to PSG for legacy, unless like obviously Mbappe, who's French, playing in the French league, makes sense for him to just like build a name there before he gets his move. But I can't imagine Kane going there at the age of 28.
No, I think he wants that Prem title as well, doesn't
he?
Well, I think
it would seem like a sideways or even a backward step. Not really a challenge.
Yeah.
Well, saying that, they're second, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Doesn't seem like much of a challenge. He just seems too hungry for success to go somewhere like PSG. Seems like he relishes a challenge.
Yeah, I agree.
So if Kane goes to City, what happens to Haaland?
He'll
What do you
stay.
think? Where does he go?
He'll stay at Dortmund for at least another season, and then potentially like we're going.
Okay, but even after a season, what happens?
Yeah, potentially he's got a few options. Lewandowski is good. Lewandowski's getting he's pushing on in terms of age, so Bayern's an option. Real Madrid is obviously another option with Benzema towards the end of his career. I wouldn't even rule out Barcelona at the point, because I think even though financially they're not doing well at the moment, they're going to have they're going to have to do a massive rebuild if they want to challenge for La Liga in the coming seasons. Like
I think he's waiting for Bristol City to get
promoted. Both of them are.
Oh, come on, man. Bristol City. Just imagine.
Yeah, we're timing it right to get promoted at the end of next season, and then he's got that release clause, like 75 million that comes into play. And bang, straight in. Perfect.
Lansdowne's master plan. A chess move. Do you not reckon either of them would go to Haaland or Kane would go to Barca or Madrid? Do you reckon Kane to one of them is an option? Or just
where's the money? Where's the money?
They're not going to spend 100 million on a 27-year-old.
They don't need money though. Like, man,
what if they shift the
Barca? These lot are.
Real Madrid just print more money if they need more money, don't they?
Yeah. Fergie said they're like dealing with the mafia, isn't it? With Madrid.
You say that, but I think the coronavirus has had a massive impact on the Spanish teams and also some of the other teams in Europe. Maybe not so much in the Premier League because of the TV money that we get. But I don't think Barcelona are in that position where they can just go out and splash the cash on any signing that they want, especially.
But from a player's perspective, do you want to go to La Liga right now? Like La Liga right now, I just feel like, I don't know, like even Madrid, the players that are still there, Benzema, Modric, they're in their later stages of their career. Hazard's not banging anymore. He might be, you don't know that. Who wants to go there right now? I mean, let's be honest. It's not English bias or whatever, but the Prem is a league to be right now, from my perspective anyway. Like the way I'm looking at it, Serie A is not what it used to be.
It's getting back. It's had a good year this year, Serie A.
Yeah, it's been better, but would you say it's been better than the Prem?
Oh no, God no. But I think it was a real strong year for Serie A this year, and I hope it's another competitive season next year.
Yeah.
I'm just glad
it's
still going on.
But yeah, definitely the Prem is the hottest league, 100%.
Yeah. So with that being said, from Kane, if I was Kane, I'd be looking at it as, why would I be going to La Liga right now? But then I know a lot of these players, like for example, Hazard or Mbappe and people like that, they probably grew up, especially a lot of the foreign players growing up in wherever they are. There's something about Madrid and Barca. They just want to play for Madrid and Barca. So yeah, I can imagine if someone comes calling and also Madrid comes calling, the obvious option for them is Madrid, right? Or Barca. Yeah. If you go around the world, even like Asian countries, forget Europe, if you go around Asian countries as well, they've all got like Barcelona, Madrid clubs. There's something about those clubs that people have, this obsession over.
They sort of transcend football, don't they? And it's like a cultural thing.
Dynasties.
Yeah, I mean, look at the amount of titles they won. Like, not even just La Liga, but Champions League and their dominance in Europe. Like, especially Real Madrid and the Champions League in the past 10 years. It's ridiculous what they.
And it's iconic players, isn't it?
Yeah, like the
Ronaldinho's, the Zidane,
the Galacticos.
Yeah, exactly.
What an era! What an era!
Gravison. Oh, come on. Why don't
the engine?
Why don't we add Jonathan Woodgate and Michael Owen to that list? Jeez, clutching straws or what?
Just side note on La Liga, quick. Suarez.
Oh mate, what was Barcelona thinking?
What? I have no idea. They've lost the plot. They've lost
7 mil, right?
I don't know. Is that how much it was?
Yeah, it was like peanuts.
Ridiculously. He is. Can he still be included in top 5 in the world?
Yes.
Because I would put
mine, mate.
Very close.
Are you saying...
Before you even finished the question, Hugh said yes.
Yeah.
It's because he remembered he was at Liverpool.
No. Honestly, like...
Ian Rush is still in Hugh's top 5.
Yeah. Yeah, all right, guys. No. I still think Suarez is still a formidable striker. And if you think about it, like, what he's done at Atletico now is just basically made Barcelona think, what have they done? Because if they were thinking in the right frame of mind, they would have let him go to another club in Europe, not a competitor in Atletico Madrid. And in terms of his finishing and his ability, it's always been there. Yeah. I might have a biased view because I felt like during the early 2010s, especially that 2013-2014 season, I feel like he carried that Liverpool squad, which was mediocre at best. But his raw ability and his finishing is just, I think, is still up there, in my opinion.
He's
top 5,
killer instinct.
Top 3 definitely what Max said earlier. I'd say Haaland, Kane, and Lewandowski. But out and out strikers. The thing is, right, this era we don't really have proper out and out strikers. Like there's very few. Whereas going back 10, 15 years, almost every team had a proper number 9. Nowadays you don't really get that.
In terms of forwards, then, who would you put in there?
Oh my God! If you have to put forwards,
encompassing all forwards,
make me feel all day with forwards.
Do you not think he's in top 10 at least?
Are you mad? What Suarez right now?
Yeah.
Come on, man. He's not.
Bang him straight in there. He's lethal. He's lethal.
You guys, I can't believe we're even having this. I can't believe we're even having this discussion.
Maybe this is for another time.
Yeah. Okay.
Circling back. That was just a sidebar.
Yeah, I guess there's a few things that I want to cover just before. I know that we wanted to talk about England and the Euros, but just very, very briefly and quickly, I think we need to go back to the FA Cup final this weekend and just congratulate Leicester, especially with Tielemans and that goal. Like, honestly, I don't know if any of you caught the final.
Rocket.
I feel like Hugh's working his way back, and then he's gonna go back a bit more to United Liverpool.
Oh no, that's old news now. Like we get it. I'm not going to talk about Liverpool anymore because
he hasn't even started at the header yet.
Yeah, I haven't even talked about Alisson's header.
You haven't mentioned the header.
Yeah, exactly.
Shouldn't have reminded you.
Yeah, shall we talk about that, or do you want to talk about the FA
Cup?
No,
let's get back to the FA Cup.
With Leicester, I just thought that was so good because Leicester, like from my point of view, I'm a Bristol City fan, so when they won the league, that gave everyone hope anyway, which was awesome. But in terms of being a fan of a club that goes up to Premier League, they are just the model example of how to run a football club. They get everything right. They treat their fans right. Like on Boxing Day, there's always like a free like pie and a drink for all the fans at the stadium. Just little things like that, little touches. And the recruitment's always bang on. They look after their players, they back their managers, and like I thought it was quite poignant when they got their owner onto the pitch and he's lifting the trophy up. Obviously, the tragedy that happened with his dad and whatever. It's just such a model club as far as I'm concerned. I was so pleased they won it. I don't like Chelsea anyway because my father-in-law's a Chelsea fan and he's an idiot. But I mean, it was amazing. I was so pleased. Sorry, carry on.
No. I want to jump in. Mate, seeing Schmeichel and people call him down from the stands and then see him come on and start hugging the players and speaking to him one-to-one.
Is going to pull their owner on? Can you say United in the Europa League?
Yeah.
And get Glazer down on the pitch.
So we were calling him down the other day, United versus Liverpool when they got called off. He didn't want to come.
Yeah, such a good moment.
Brendan Rodgers as well. What a manager, man.
Don't get the respect.
Like you said earlier about Suarez, Hugh, with that Liverpool side. Like that Liverpool side had no right being up where they were that season. And as well as the impact Suarez had, Rodgers did a good job there. I know that obviously they let it slip, but to even get a team that to even get that squad in that position, that was pretty impressive. And he went away to Scotland, did what was expected, but did it in style, and he's come back to Leicester, and he's doing a great job.
I mean, the one thing that I would say about Leicester is their scouting department is remarkable. Like, the amount of players that they've brought in, and to be fair, like if that was a United, Liverpool, a Chelsea or City, they would have just forked out a ton of money just to buy players. Like if you think about like Kante, no one ever heard of N'Golo Kante before he arrived to Leicester, and he was formidable. Mahrez they got really, really cheap, and he turned out to be formidable. Like that team that won the Premier League title, they had a few gems in there. Like you can say the rest of it, what you want about the rest of the squad, but in terms of the core of that squad, in terms of the big players, they didn't get them for a lot of money, and they turned them into basically world-class players. Like I'd even say that Vardy is still at the top of his game, even at his age, even all the experience that he's gone through. But going to Leicester as a club, like I don't like you think about King Power and the owners, but what other club can you see that's been taken over where they have such a good connection with the fans? They give back to the community, and if you think about like how they like just the events of when they lifted the trophy, like could you see like Arsenal doing that with Kroenke? I mean that's a bit of a far-fetched statement, but no, I don't think in any parallel universe you would even see that happening.
No, definitely.
No chance.
Okay, can I quickly talk about the Alisson header?
Oh, mate,
Just
what
gone.
a header.
Yeah.
I know.
It was.
I know, obviously,
Striker's
a lot of
header.
people don't like Liverpool, but what a
I think
header!
he was trying to
Not
flick
giving
it
them the
on.
respect.
Eh?
I think he was trying to flick it on.
Oh come on, man!
He's trying to clear it. He's
Like
trying to clear it.
if that was Harry Kane or if that was Lewandowski, you'd be thinking like, wow, those are like one of those headers, one of those contacts with the ball that you would dream of, and like putting it into the corner of the net like that. I mean,
And obviously all the stuff that he's been through personally as well. It must have just been a nice for him, like nice moment.
He's been watching Bobby Firmino closely because that was textbook.
I don't know, but if he's going to finish like that, we might as well just stick him up front, because the front three, aside from Salah, can't finish for their lives right now.
Maybe they're doing it on purpose to get
Salah as well. I saw somewhere the other day. I don't know if it was Sky Pundits or BT. I can't remember if it was. They were doing Team of the Year, and no one put Salah in there. And then yesterday's game, and I was watching yesterday's game, and you know when it pops up like who's the highest goal scorers and stuff, and Salah was one behind Kane, and I'm thinking, how is this guy not in the Team of the Year?
Yeah, no, it's weird. It's weird. He wasn't in it either. The season they won the league.
Oh, seriously?
Was he not?
Salah wasn't in it?
No, the only time he was in it was the season when they come second, and it was his breakthrough season at Liverpool, wasn't it?
Is that when he got the record goals?
Yeah, then the season, it's almost as if it's like, well, he's had a poor season because he wasn't as good as that insane season he had first year at Liverpool.
Wow.
But I honestly think one of those two are going, Salah and Mane. I think one of them is going to go in the summer.
Who do you reckon? I reckon Mane will go.
I'm not even going to discuss this. I'm sorry, guys.
I reckon Salah.
Yeah, I think Salah. I think Salah wouldn't mind to go somewhere else.
Any ideas where?
I'm not having this conversation, guys. You guys go ahead.
I reckon.
I still think one of them might end up going La Liga, even though they're cash strapped and they're in need of rebuilds.
I don't know.
Yeah, I reckon Salah will go Madrid or Barca, because again, it's that thing about playing for one of those two clubs.
Yeah, but they still got the prestige, even if they are broken and in need of a massive rebuild. Both of them as well, and they got manager issues. Zidane's going at the end. Koeman's just.
Well, Zidane's going.
Yeah, he told the players on the weekend that he was going.
That's still rumours, and it's not been confirmed.
No, I was there.
Oh, was it?
Have they?
I was there. I
thought it was confirmed.
Oh, you were there, right? Okay, so it must be official.
Yeah.
Oh, serious? I didn't realise. So what? He came in this season, right?
No, midway through last season, wasn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, would you say this year, this spell that he's had has been a flop?
Yeah.
I
say a flop. They've not won anything, but they've got a ropey squad now, haven't they? Sorry, Lam, carry on me.
Yeah. No, I was gonna, in a way, agree with you, but in a way, disagree. Because they got a ropey squad, but semis, and they could still win it, maybe win the league. But for them, it's a flop.
Yeah, we just need Suarez to stop them.
Yeah, your mate.
Yeah.
No.
I had
What?
I had to put that one in. I think going on from that, I think with Zidane leaving or potentially leaving, I think that's a point of discussion. So after everything he's done, especially with the Champions League success he's had as a manager, who do you think would be in line to replace him? And like with that squad, is this squad gonna be past it? Let's be honest. Like you see the likes of Benzema pushing on in terms of age, Toni Kroos and Modric obviously are in their advancing years as well. I know they have like Vinicius Junior, for example, and they have a few other young players that can come up.
Rodrigo.
Yeah. Where do you think Real Madrid stand? And if so, like if Zidane does leave, as we believe he will be, and we believe what he said to the players, if you read the papers and if you listen to the media, where do you think they go from here? Like who would they bring in? And in terms of like even Azar, he's not performing, or he's not even fired off in any form of cylinders.
And we got the engine on.
Yeah. So yeah, Real Madrid, and next season, where do we go from here?
I think. Go on.
No, I was waiting for you to say.
I think if a manager comes in, it'd have to be one of them, like boardroom meetings where he's promised like certain players. Almost like when Mourinho came to United, it was almost like big names were promised, like Zlatan and Pogba, and these names were promised before he made that. Because otherwise, it's like I can't carry a team. So I think with a manager coming into Madrid, it almost be like, look, Benzema past his best, Modric past his best. All of these players, they're almost done. So I will sign so long as you can promise me these 3 or 4 big names. You can promise me Mbappe. You can promise me whoever, right? Pogba or whatever. It seems like these names are being popped up over and over again. So I don't think anyone will go into that blindly because it could tarnish their name. So like for example, if a big manager, say Pochettino does beat PSG and he goes to Madrid, he's almost doomed to fail with that squad. Whereas if he goes there and he's promised names, then there's a chance that he can still succeed. So yeah, I think it's not going to be an easy one for them. That's my opinion.
Max, do you have any other thoughts about this?
I mean, in terms of who their next manager would be, I think it will be similar to when Barcelona appointed Quique Setien. I think it would be just some Spanish coach we've never heard of, because I think, like Ibby said, for one of the top managers to go there, they'd want certain assurances that they're going to be bringing in X, Y, Z. I just don't think Spanish football's got that sort of cash to be doing that at the moment. So I think they might.
But do you think it takes one player to change that? Like Mbappe signs for Madrid, and that's it. Like La Liga's back.
But one player, that's a lot of money, isn't it? At the moment, I just think this season they might just think, look, we'll get some random in, give him the season. Chances are they're still gonna get into the Champions League because they've still got a ridiculously strong squad for that league, and maybe sort of see how the football world recovers from like the lack of finances from Corona, and almost like have a season off, if you know what I mean, and then not spend anything really this summer, look to really have a budget the following summer when things start moving a bit more freely again in terms of transfers. But what do I know?
Do you not think Max Allegri would be tempted? I don't know. Lam, what your input for this?
As soon as you said Quique Setien, it just took my mind back to Moyes at United. And just kind of weathering that, taking it and just waiting.
Quique Setien, the Spanish Moyes.
Yeah. They're just going to get someone in there, wait a little bit, things are back to normal. But, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking at it through rose-tinted glasses from years ago when they still had that pull and that big appeal. Yeah. I still think they can bring in the big names, but I think I'm being a bit biased.
They won't have any problems attracting them. It's just, I think financing them this summer might be difficult.
I think maybe if Poch leaves, I could see him going to Madrid.
Yeah.
But that's too soon, in my opinion. I can't see that happening. As I said, I think Allegri is probably the only big name manager that they could possibly bring in. Does anyone have Unai Emery?
Yeah.
Possibly is if you're talking about Spanish coaches, he's possibly one. Does anyone have his number? Because I think Madrid might want it if they're going to take a Spanish manager.
Pass on to Perez.
Europa League.
I mean, it's still a trophy, right? It's still silverware. I mean, the other thing that I've noticed, like especially when we were growing up, especially when we were in school, but Barcelona and Real Madrid have always had this tendency to always like to bring in former players back into the fray, whether that's the coaching staff or in Barcelona's case, the management. Raul is starting his managerial career. So I know that there's rumours in the Bundesliga about him potentially joining Frankfurt, but if there's a vacancy open...
Schalke.
Not Schalke, come on, man.
No, that's where he's apparently...
there was...
He played for him, didn't he?
Yeah, he played for Schalke, but there was rumours that he's in talks to join Frankfurt. I don't think he would join Schalke, given that they've just been relegated. But if you compare any Bundesliga club, not even one that you played in before, versus Real Madrid, which is the club that basically you captained, won all this trophies, had this massive history behind it, and you're pretty much a club icon. It's a no-brainer to go back to that club and manage them, but the question is whether it's too soon.
Yeah, can't really argue with that.
Yeah.
Okay, with the sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, were you going to mention the England squads?
Yeah, I think what we had.
What you going to mention?
What we had in mind was by the end of this podcast, we were going to start going through the England teams and basically
We've rambled on a bit.
Yeah, we've rambled on a bit, but I think it's been pretty good. So before we actually started this podcast, we set out a task for each one of us to do, and that was to announce a 26-man squad in terms of who we think should be in the squad for Euro 2020, which is effectively Euro 2021, given what's happened with the pandemic. Unfortunately, we've gone 44 minutes talking about various different topics, from Kane to Haaland, to La Liga, to Leicester, to pretty much everything that's happened in the past week in football, with the exception of United losing to Liverpool at Old Trafford. But we'll let that one slide, given that's pretty much old news now.
That's big of you, mate.
Yeah.
Highlight of Liverpool season.
I mean, okay, moving swiftly on. So I think what we'll do is we'll leave the squads until next week, but let's think about it more generically in the last 15 minutes or so, and we can just have an open conversation about the Euros. We're probably going to be recording the next podcast before the England squads are announced anyway.
Yeah, they're announced next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, yeah, exactly. So I think one of the news that came out of The Athletic this morning was that there are rumours that Trent will still not be included in Gareth Southgate's 26-man squad. Even with the squad size going from 23 to 26, I'd like to hear some of your thoughts about that, because I think I've got pretty much a lot to say about that as a Liverpool fan. But instead of being biased...
Start your point, Q. Start your point.
If you want me to start...
go on, go for it.
So,
yeah.
You're going to laugh at this, but personally speaking, in my point of view, I think Trent's been the best right-back in England.
For when? This season?
For the last 3 seasons.
It's a bold claim.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think he has a lot of quality to add to the squad. If you think about how he played in the recent games, especially the United game, where he was pretty much Liverpool's best player, I think he has a lot to offer to the England squad. I just don't think Gareth Southgate fancies him as a player in a 3 at the back with wing backs system, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. There were question marks about his defensive ability, but I think in the last 2 or 3 games, he's shown that he can defend. And the quality that he has on the ball, especially playing out passes, set pieces, etc., I think is almost second to none right now. There's not that many players who can pretty much do the same thing as he has. And the amount of assists that he's had over the past 2 seasons, you cannot You cannot like fault that, especially him and Robertson at Liverpool. And if you're going to compare him to the likes of, Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, if we're going to include him in that conversation, Reece James, and Wan-Bissaka, like I still think he's by far the best option that we have. But I guess I'll let, I've been rambling on. I'll let you guys give your inputs about it.
I mean, I don't think he's been the best right back in the league this year. I mean, the 2 seasons before that, you can definitely make a good argument for it. But do I think he should be in the squad going to the Euros? Definitely. I mean, we're pretty blessed with the right backs that we've got. But I mean, I can't see how he wouldn't be in that squad. He's too talented a player not to be. I think it'd be nuts if he didn't go.
I think the problem with Southgate is reliant. He's probably going to depend on the guys who he took to the 2018 World Cup, even though Trent was in the equation. If you think about the players that he started, it was Kyle Walker at right centre back and Kieran Trippier. And I think in recent times, especially in the last few matches of England, Reece James is pretty much going to be thereabouts, because he seems to be a favourite of Southgate as well. Which, if you think about it, with those 3 included, you can't really take another right back. And I think, honestly, it's ludicrous to think that Trent's not going to be in that squad. But if you think about the Southgate hat and put yourself in his shoes, I can see him not even selecting Trent.
Nah, Trent's gonna go, man. I think it's just headlines, isn't it? You know what it's like a week before, 2 weeks before, the craziest headlines sell stories. But yeah, the thing is, let's be real. We know Southgate's probably gonna play 5 at the back. No matter how talented our forwards and midfielders are, you're probably gonna get 5 at the back. Personally, if we play 4 at the back, in my opinion, Kyle Walker's our best right back. In my opinion, I think Wan-Bissaka defensively is the best, and going forward, Trent's probably the best. But in terms of a bit of both, you're probably going to get that from Kyle Walker, because Wan-Bissaka's going forward, he's dead, and Trent defensively is dead. Whereas
Trent defensively is dead.
Trent defensively is non-existent.
In comparison to the others.
Have you seen the last 5 games?
Walker, exactly, the last 5 games. But
where
was he
turn up now to you?
Yeah, the 10, 15 games before.
You guys are unbelievable.
He's been inconsistent this year.
He's been inconsistent.
Maybe that's why.
He's been inconsistent this season, but if you think about the past 2 seasons before that, I don't think you can find any other right back in the Premier League that can compete with his stats.
No, we take him, 100% take him, but in terms of having a balanced right back, I think Kyle Walker's got to be back.
No, I'd play Reece James. I don't care. I love Reece James.
Man,
in a 4, you'd play James in a 4.
Yeah, but Max, feelings aside.
Yeah, don't have real feelings, man. Right, honestly, we could go on for ages about the right back, but we'll cover that more next week, I reckon. Squad aside, regardless of who goes, who don't go, do you think England genuinely do have a chance of winning it this year?
Yes.
Yep.
What, winning?
Yeah. Not will they win? Do we have a decent chance?
Slim.
Lamb?
With all that talent, they've got to get close. They've got to get close. With all that talent.
Ib, why do you say Slim? Because you
manager. I'm not convinced with Southgate. Sorry.
You hate him, don't you?
Yeah, get Redknapp in, man.
Where's Jamie?
What?
Redknapp. Go on, boys, could do a goal now.
No, I
get the wheeler dealer
think
in.
With Southgate, the World Cup gave us a false impression of how good a manager he is. Not to say there's better managers out there. I'm not trying to say that, but I think the running was it was a bit easy. The 2 teams that we did play that were half decent, or decent actually, Croatia and Belgium, we lost to. I got outplayed, and then the rest we played was Panama and whoever.
Colombia.
Yeah, we beat them, and the idea of we're going to go far with this manager, I think it's a bit of a reach. But I do think like Lam said, the squad's definitely good enough. I mean, especially if you look at the forwards and the midfielders, it's unbelievable. But yeah, I don't know if Southgate's the guy.
So I get what you mean. Sometimes I feel like he thinks he's got imposter syndrome, that he's not good enough, and that he just gets shook and plays 5 at the back, and he'll play 2 holdings sometimes. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, I do think he feels.
You've got all this talent. But
what about you, Max? What
you're
saying we're going to win it?
Yeah.
Am I saying that? Absolutely not. I'm never that optimistic about anything. But
what do you reckon?
Yeah,
though? Where could they go?
I honestly think quarterfinals, because, like you said, Ib, I just think the first good team we play will lose against.
So by that logic, it'll be Croatia in the group.
Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
I think France have just got an absolutely disgusting team. I think it's theirs to lose, really. If France show up and play like they can do, they'll win it, I think.
So
Germany and Portugal in their group, though.
That's going to be a group of death. I agree with Lam here. I think because of
Portugal this season. Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some players to actually help Ronaldo out now, haven't they?
Yeah, and also think about it. In that group, Germany have had a poor 2018 World Cup. They've pretty much rebuilt, and they've got, like, I know Timo Werner has not been playing that well in the Premier League, but they've got a lot of good players coming up. Also, like, just to mention, Jamal Musiala basically opted to play for Germany rather than England, and then you have the likes of Kai Havertz, Leroy Sané. Gundogan's had an amazing season in the Premier League. They could come back, and it's Jurgen Löw's last tournament before he steps down as Germany coach as well. So he will have something to prove and a point to make, especially as he's about to bow out. And I know he's already won the World Cup, but I think he would like to add the Euros title to it. I think going back to what Max asked initially about England, bear in mind that the semi-finals and the final is going to be on home territory, and all of our group games will be at Wembley. Yeah, but the thing is that, like, we have the 3 games at home, so technically we should have home advantage, depending on how many people.
Don't worry, mate.
Yeah.
England have no problem in absolutely stinking out Wembley. So
I mean, we've got to the point where I think it's going to be 20,000 fans in the group stages at Wembley. And out of those 20,000, we've only allocated 6,000 to Scottish fans for the England-Scotland game. I mean, I don't know what everyone thinks about that, but I think that's a bit atrocious, given that we're still in the UK.
But then it's probably going to be 6,000 England fans and then 8,000 corporate. Eh?
Yeah, well, we don't know that for sure, but yeah, you know,
FIFA.
You work for FIFA or something? You just got a UEFA contract going on.
Staying diplomatic.
Yeah. No comment.
Can I just interject a sec and say that Wales will go further than England?
Oh,
oh wow, Lam, here we go.
I'm just saying.
Here we go.
I got to fly the flag. Wales will succeed. Wales will succeed.
Nah.
And I'm supporting Wales in this Euros, like every Euros. Or every World Cup.
Every Euros, mate. Been in 2 in your lifetime, mate.
Oh, what, Lam, I didn't even realise you had, like, Welsh ties.
Well, I was born there and I lived there for a year. So basically, I'm a Wally's man.
Wait, are you just saying that because you're just so disappointed in England? Wow. Wow, okay, fine.
Just because I was born there. There's an affinity. So I got to fly the flag. So I'm saying they'll go further.
Shall we finish it on where we're going to predict England get? So Max said quarters.
Quarters on penalties as well. Just for that lovely little bit of Great British summer ruined by the football.
I'm going semis. I think they can do really well.
I'm going to be slightly optimistic. I think we're going to get to the final.
What, losing the final?
Yep.
Oh, come on, dude.
Not even win the final.
Yeah. well, to be fair...
Pens, are you going to say?
He says optimistic and then says we're going to lose in the final.
Well, more optimistic than Max and Lam. But the thing is, I think we'll get to the final.
I think we've got a really good chance of being runners-up.
We'll give it a good go, but I can see us getting to the final and then bottling it. And it's going to be someone like France, Germany, or Spain who's just going to ruin it.
I just think like I said, the first time we pick a team that's genuinely got better players than us, we just that's. I don't dislike Southgate, but I just don't think he's got the tactical nous to beat a team of better players.
What's Southgate put Dyer in the squad? Like players like that.
Damn.
That's what's gonna happen. But yeah.
Dead weight.
And Trent at home playing on the X.
I'm going with Max though. I'm thinking quarters as well.
Quarters on pens or just quarters?
No, I don't know about pens, but yeah, quarters. I think quarters, yeah. And then we're gonna come up against France or Portugal, and that's it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hugh, what do you reckon? What have you said?
No, I said I'm
final,
still
didn't
I'm still adamant about the final.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look,
we've only got a few
Me and
minutes
Hugh are
left.
realists, and you two are slightly different optimists.
We've only got a few minutes left. In addition to where we think England are gonna be or gonna finish, who do we think is going to win outright? Just one
France.
country. Don't need to explain anything.
France.
Who's gonna win it?
Yeah.
Yeah, France, man.
Other than Wales, I'll go wild card. Why not? Portugal. Why not? Do a little wild card. Let's do a little wild card. Portugal.
Yeah, it wouldn't. To be honest, it wouldn't surprise me because when they won Euros, that was just with Ronaldo as their only top player. They got
he was off for half of the final, wasn't he?
Yeah, he took over from the manager, did he?
Yeah, with his leg with his knee all strapped up, screaming at them all.
Oh, the manager sit down.
Yeah, sit down.
Adair scored that goal.
Yeah.
Hugh, who do you reckon?
So I've just had a quick look at the group stages. I actually think Spain have got a good chance of winning.
Spain.
They've
Where's
got a lot of good quality players, and we've completely forgot about the other breaking news about Aymeric Laporte opting to play for Spain and not France. So I do feel like Spain have got a good quality in defence now, especially like with their players pushing on. They've got Laporte now, and then also if you think about their stack of players in midfield, it's like they've got abundance to choose from.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, don't rule them out at all.
Oh yeah, last thing, guys. We're not gonna be on till after the Champions League, right?
We've got a week.
No, it's 29th, isn't it? It's 29th.
Yeah, Champions League
29th.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we've got time then.
So yeah, we'll maybe next week do the squads, and then we'll do our picks for the Champions League.
Quick side note: did anyone watch the Women's Champions League final?
Oh man, I watched.
Did anyone catch any of it?
I haven't caught it, but I've seen the result. But I will watch it.
Oh man,
Chelsea bottled it big time.
They really did. But Barca's third goal. Oh my god, it was immense. Immense.
One more thing. Fury or Joshua?
Fury.
Are we even having this question?
Dosser.
I'm not gonna say AJ. Fury's the better boxer. As much as I want to say AJ to be controversial, I can't see.
But hang on,
who do you reckon?
This is a controversial one. I really like both of them. So
I reckon. I'm just gonna say.
I think Fury obviously a better boxer, but I think AJ's boxing is being overlooked a little bit by a lot.
Yeah, I 100% agree. His last 2 or 3 fights, he has boxed really, really well, properly behind his jab again.
I don't think it's going to be a Fury versus Wilder. Because Wilder, he's just going in there. He's not really a boxer, throwing with no punches. Right?
Quite wild.
Fury, Joshua can bring it to Fury.
The one thing I'll say about that though is Fury boxes from different angles than anyone.
It's awkward, isn't it?
Oh, so awkward, man. And he moves like a cruiserweight as well, and he's 6'9". It's just absolutely ridiculous.
So fluid.
I cannot wait. I have been looking forward to it. I'm just gutted it's in Saudi because I'd always promised.
Wow, that's where the money's at.
So unless Hugh wants to pay for me to go, then
a live broadcast of internet.
Yeah, you can make
we
corporate excursion.
Yeah.
Right, I think on that note, I think we should call it a day.
Yeah.
So,
Hugh's going to go and look at flights now.
oh yeah, of course, to Saudi Arabia, 100%. I guess just a shameless plug before we close out. So if you have been tuning in and if you've been listening to our input and our thoughts about football, be sure to like and subscribe our YouTube page. We also have a Twitter and a Facebook. So if you want to follow,
an Instagram,
of course, an Instagram as well. How could I forget? At Internet Podcast. That's on Instagram and Twitter, and then we have the
and a Facebook.
Facebook.com/Internet Podcast. Be sure to drop us a like and a follow as well. That's all I had to say. Ibby, any closing notes?
Nah, just catch us every week. That's it.
Yep. And in that case, until next time, we'll be discussing the England squads and the potential Champions League finals. It's goodbye from me.
and me.
And him.
Yep. Wish everyone has a great day ahead, and we will see you soon.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.